What's up, Squadron? Aviation has given me a ton of amazing experiences. And more importantly, it's introduced me to a whole new family of friends. Join us tonight because we're cleared direct for some hangar flying. I'm Bryon Dembroski, and this is SuperAero Live. What's up, Av Geeks? It's Wednesday! Which can only mean one thing. It's time for another episode of SuperAero Live. Really excited to have you all here. I hope that I noticed in the chat. I'm off to the side. Get a little more centered there. Noticed in the chat we've got a lot of people from Texas in the chat who are just signing in because you got a little bit of internet, and that warms my heart that you would waste your bandwidth on me. I hope you are all safe. I hope you're all warm. You can hear our guests in the background. I'm going to bring them up. Now while we do the intro. Look at that. It's Christine and Ty from the Plane Lady channel, also from Texas. And they have internet and power, but not a ton of heat, I'm guessing. But look at them. There they are.
We're thawing.
They're thawing out. So I'm gonna fill everyone in real quick. You guys were generous enough to swap weeks because Jen, the air traffic controller who was going to be on the show tonight, hasn't had power for like 3 days. And she texted me. She's like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I could do it on my iPad, but it's running out of battery." And I was like, no, it's cool. Like, let's just switch the weeks. And you guys were awesome. We pulled a show together in like 3 hours while you were fixing broken pipes in your neighbor's house and going to Costco to stock up for the next part of the snowstorm. This is all just
It worked out.
This show is bad luck. Every Wednesday we have this show and something like monumental happens in
We should change to Tuesdays.
Should we do Tuesdays?
No, that would line up with election days, so let's not do that.
Yeah, and I hope, at least in Wisconsin, we were supposed to vote yesterday for, like, I don't know,
something.
School boards.
Well, we're lucky, though. So, I mean, it's not a total jinx because, I mean, we got lucky. We're very blessed. We've had power this whole time, knock on wood, and with, like, one little hiccup maybe with the internet. But we did. We helped our neighbor. It turned out it wasn't a pipe. It was their roof. But went and helped take care of that situation. So,
oh, that's right.
As resolved as it can be.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, I appreciate you guys hopping in.
Sure.
And we're gonna learn a lot about your RV project. But first, let's say hi to some people. You know a lot of these people. You guys are in the chat most weeks. You guys know these people. Fly with the Guys is here. He's complaining that the music is too epic. Gary Smith's here. Jonathan made it. Great to have you back, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Let's see. Ben Berg is here. Zach Sherman's basically doing customer service there. Mike Beatty's here. And he's talking about cars extended warranty spam calls, but he's not from the United States. Do they do those everywhere? I'm sorry. You want to talk about American imperialism. It's those extended warranty calls. 72 Papa's here. Hey, by the way, guys, if you are a Patreon supporter, we're gonna have you guys are gonna be in the chat, assuming the internet holds. You're gonna be in the Zoom after show with the Sky Fam, with the Squadron.
You'll stuck with us for a little while longer.
Yeah, unless you need to talk behind our backs,
Well, I'll just talk straight to your face.
Okay, fair enough.
But I need a lot. If you're into home building, come into the thing tonight because I need some very personal advice about home building tonight in the after show. But anyway, enough about home. Yeah, it's very exciting. Anyway, let's stop talking. It's meme level, says Mike. That's how he knows about it. They don't actually call him in New Zealand and ask him about his Jeep Cherokee from 7 years ago. All right, let's dig in. Let's dig into now they're talking about how to heat your home. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys do, and you're building an airplane. We've had you on the show before, but just to like bring everyone up to speed, I'm gonna put a little video up over my dumb face. This is like day to day for you. Well, not this. Talking to the camera too. This part here is day to day for you.
Yep.
Oh, fuel tanks.
Working on the RV-10. So yeah, I came on with the Builder Roundtable, but it's cool because this is the first time Tyler's joining me for any one of these things. So thought that might be something kind of fun. I've had a couple people say, I don't even know what he sounds like. They haven't like heard you talk much. So we thought it'd be kind of neat to have both of us here and get the, I don't know. I think our perspective's pretty much the same, but still slightly different viewpoints.
Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be like Silent Bob, you know?
I don't know if I want to be Jay. But yeah, so we're building our RV-10 and it's been really fun.
That's awesome. Oh, did I stop the? Oh, it stops at the cute kiss. This video. Let's play it again. And people in the chat are saying that your speakers are feeding back over the live stream. They can hear my voice. Okay. I don't know if you can like knock the volume down a little, like 2 or 3.
On the mic or on the speakers?
On your speakers.
Yeah, hold.
Because I've got a booming voice. But so while you do that, Connie with the super chat. Connie, thank you so much for supporting the show.
And I can always try this too.
That might be better already.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's probably better. Look at you guys dancing. Are you dancing to the love song from SuperAero show?
No, it was it was a joke with some of our friends who used to be building. Rob and Christine Johnson, they did
Chase Every Second.
Yeah, and they were building an RV-10, and they've sold their project. But they were really close in the build with us, and so we talked all the time. And they'd had this one song like on their channel, and so it's just like a little funny joke with them. But it turned into a cute little video. So
that's fine.
But we do dance to your intro as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, separately, I'm trying to get them on the show. I don't know what we're going to talk about. 'Cause I don't know if those ladies like airplanes, but I'll be like, hey, come on the show. Come on the show. All right, so let's dig back. So you guys are. So we showed the video of you guys like banging on rivets. We talked about, you were on the round table where we got like really into like advice for people, and I would advise people to go back and watch it if they want to dig into like hardcore home builder advice. What I want to talk to you guys about tonight is your journey to becoming. Oh wow, you guys are going hardcore now. That's adorable.
Trying to help so it's not feedback and so we can hear you better.
No, I appreciate it. So like talk to me a little bit about the decision to home build. And you sent me some photos. It started here, right?
It did, yeah. That was our first Oshkosh there in 2018, and we were like really, really, really thinking that we were going to get a Cirrus, that we were going to have a little flying club and have a Cirrus. And I mean, I think I'd even sent you, like, we were going to their tent all the time.
Yeah, let me find that. First of all, speaking of tents, yeah,
that was camping there. That was 2019 though. We upgraded the tent. But yeah, that was perfect. That was our first landing there, and it was really cool. The volunteers there at Oshkosh, that they took our picture right away, so it was really nice of them. But
I think I probably have some of these. See, you loved it so much you left immediately. I got these photos in the wrong order.
Like, this Wisconsin, we're out of here.
It was nice after Texas heat in the summertime. Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, so we really thought we were gonna be, hashtag Cirrus life and everything. And I had seen before we got there, I knew that they were gonna be doing this 1 week wonder, and I told Tyler about it, and I was like, man, this looks like it's gonna be so cool. We have to go check this out. And found it there in the center pavilion that they have, and I mean, we were just like enthralled with it. It was quickly something that we kept going back for. Yeah, I love that. That's Ty there. And so they have it where you can go and like pull a rivet on this little demo board, And then if you did that, you got to go and do the rivets on the wings there. And so anybody can do it. And then you got to sign next to your the rivet that you put in, and then like that. And then you got to put your name like digitally into like the builder log or something. And we ended up there, I think, like every single day. If you actually go back and you watch somewhere, they have like the live capture that they did that whole week, you can see Tyler and I along the edge if you go back and look.
You were into it.
Yeah, we were asking so many questions and
talking with like Vic Syracuse and the other guys from Vans that were there, just asking questions about plane building and experimental. And
I remember asking, I'm like, what are those copper looking thingies that are sticking out of all the parts? The Clecos.
Bless your heart.
Little did I know back then.
Little did you know. But Zach Sherman says this conversation is riveting.
Clever man.
Good job.
I knew I could count on you, Zach.
There's our dad joke for the week. But so we ended up. This is
wait.
Our
I
friend
skipped ahead.
Continuing it.
We got too far ahead now in the photos. So wait, I want to dig in for a second though. So okay, just to recap, you go to Oshkosh in, is that a 182?
Yes, from our flying club.
You guys have a flying club. You're already flying like a higher performance single engine aircraft.
Yeah, it's an all glass 182T. I mean, it's a great airplane.
Well, it sounds like it must be a real drag if you want to replace it.
I mean, the RV-10 is just better. That's just the facts.
So walk me through that. So that gives me a little bit of a hint to your mission, right? So then, like, you're about to buy a Cirrus,
an SR-22T. Yep.
So can you walk me through like what kind of flying are you guys doing? Because those are all even the 182, the Cirrus, the RV-10. These are all airplanes with like serious legs, right? So like, walk me through what you're hoping to use it for, or what you were planning on using the Cirrus for.
Traveling for the two of us, that was the big thing. And so Ty's from Atlanta, and so we would fly often back and forth to Atlanta from Houston to go see family or go to like a football game or something. And we enjoyed doing the trips. When we have the flying club plane, we could go to Florida to go see his dad down there. We could hop to Atlanta and then to Florida and then, back to Houston. It just, the versatility was really great, but we'd been talking about it and it was just one of these, we love our flying club. We won't be leaving that because it's really great people and everything. But just wanting to have something where it's like, it'd be really nice if we could get there faster. It would be really nice to have something that was our own, just to insert Cirrus parachute joke here. But so that was just.
Where's Bryon from Just Plain Silly? He's gonna he said he was gonna. With all this stuff going on in Texas, I invited him to stay at my house, and he said he would just bring the Cirrus over and pull the chute and land in my backyard.
That's awesome.
No commute, I don't have to pick him up or anything. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, it's fine. It's just so that was really the big thing for us is we wanted to just have something that was like our own. We wanted something that went faster, maybe like a little bit more space, a little bit more like comfort, more speed, and so we'd been looking at the Cirrus and had been talking to other people here in the area. We talked about that maybe what we do is a flying club and set it up somehow that way. We'd been talking to their sales rep several times. We had a couple of people lined up that we were already gonna like start the club with and everything. And we really thought we were going to walk away from that Oshkosh with like a contract for a plane and having put like a deposit down. And we just ended up committing to a different plane. So
you made a different kind of commitment.
We did. It was a big commitment just in a different way. So, but the more we kept going back and forth to that 1 week wonder, we just kind of kept looking at each other. And I think you asked the first time where you were like, do you think we could do this? And we kind of started talking about it, and we'd go to dinner every night, and you'd have a beer, and it's like, I think we could do that, right? Like, I think,
Yeah, we discussed it over some beer and some cheese curds,
So just got to talking about it. Got to talking about it more, and then we weren't, I think, totally. Originally, we hadn't been like set, like, okay, well, we'll just do the RV-10. It was just sort of, well, a good place to realize you want to build a plane is at AirVenture, right? You couldn't really pick a better spot. So
let me ask you. So the 1 week wonder, and I kind of zipped through the photos, but the 1 week wonder that year. So I think my name's on a Zenith. Was it the RV-12 that year that you guys did?
Yeah, the 12IS or whatever it's called. I think.
Yeah, the experimental 12. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what they built there, and. Then so we went, and when we said we thought maybe we could do this, we started walking around and looking at all the other. We went to Lancer, Sling. It was their first year there, so
Sling
we went
was
and
there.
Sling.
Velocity Aircraft was there.
Yeah, and then we went to Vans, and I mean, I think I did a video about it, but the big thing was like kind of getting. It was so cool because we got to see the planes, we got to get into the planes, we got to talk to the different reps.
Right.
We learned a lot about kind of. How does this work? Timing.
There's
cost.
like so many people around the booth. It's like already Vans people. That really helped a lot too. Talking to other builders.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was really the night. I mean, again, it's AirVenture. You couldn't have picked a better place to have kind of had this little aha moment and this realization. And it was after getting into the 10. There was just different things we didn't like with. The others where we got in, it's like, it didn't like kind of feel right. It didn't fit right. It just wasn't there. There was just
certain features weren't the same as what we wanted to have.
Yeah. And again, there's like cost with different ones. Like, I think that was something with the Mako.
About cost? You're about to buy a Cirrus.
Well, but I mean, at the same time, it was just sort of like,
he raises a good point. I mean, he brings up a good point.
It's true, but it was just it was all of it though. It was because one of the things with like the Mako when we got in is I didn't like how it felt. It just didn't feel as comfortable with their setup in there.
And it wasn't much of a home. It wasn't as much of a home build. It was it was an experimental, but you had to go and do all the work there for the most part. And
because they had to have a lot of it actually built there at their facility. And I think, wasn't that when they were just moving?
They were in Uvalde. Yeah. In Texas, west of San Antonio.
I mean, it was here, but it was still just kind of one of these where we were like, well, maybe we want to do more of the building. And do we really want to have to go back and forth versus, I mean, I think it would have been maybe faster, but still. I
mean, we can still get one.
It was just something where once we got into oh Lord, let's finish one plane at a time, darling. But we got into the 10, and it just, we both were happy and comfortable. We're like this, and I know there's folks out there where it's like, it's not as serious. I get it. It's not. There's different things. There's with like the icing and all that, but for the comfort level and everything, we're like this. Mm-hmm. This feels very comfortable. This is exactly kind of the thing we were wanting. It's got the extra speed. It's got the 4 seats. It's got the extra, baggage capacity, and with the range and the comfort and all of it, that we were like, well, we already have this club. So if we're being our flying club with the 182, so it's like,
right,
we have planes to fly right now.
Right.
It might take us a little bit longer, but then this one's ours. And by the time we're done, it's paid off. Mm-hmm. And then it's exactly what we want. And it's just us. And we don't have to do another flying club. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the price of a quarter, quarter share of a SR-22T, I'm going to have a whole aircraft to my specification, which is pretty great.
And so, I know it's not exactly as serious, so don't freak out in the comments or whatever about that. But the point is just to the mission for us of wanting to be, have our own plane and be comfortable and get there faster. it worked.
It fit really well, yeah.
And again, for paying so much less than we would of having to go in on like a fractional share with the SR-22, we can have a really tricked out nice plane.
No, I mean, people joke about this channel kind of like accidentally becoming like a home building focused channel, and I didn't mean to do that. I just keep meeting cool people like you guys, and I will tell you guys in the after show, it's backwards for me. These two are pushers. They're like
not me.
Building drug dealers.
No,
anyway,
that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at
FAA
all.
Approved. You know what? I think the biggest thing that hits people with home building, right? There's like two sides. There's like the ultra affordable side, right? You can go build your own Aero Light 103, right? You can build a lot of stuff that's like ultra affordable. Then the other side of it is this idea of like you can have near. What do you call it? Near? Is it fair to say near? It's just turning into a. Where's Greg? It's turning into a Vans commercial here. You can have near Cirrus performance if you're willing to put in
better.
the time.
Yeah.
Or better, yeah. I mean, if you're think about like the Lancers, we had Dark Arrow on. That's going to be very competitive if it hits the numbers. I think they're in the chat tonight.
It looks really cool.
Dude, Dark Arrow is gonna school like everything out there when it comes out.
It's really fun following those guys. They're awesome.
Yeah, super hardcore, cool guys. I mean, like clearly a lot smarter than I am. But like my point being that like the performance side of all of that like home build and experimental aircraft are like what it keeps getting me excited about them is it's out in front certified. It's always out in front, and so there's effort, right? Let's talk a little bit about like you guys did the 1 week wonder and you decided, oh, we could do this, but like what
I should never have made that decision on a pop rivet, let me tell you that right now.
Yeah, because like this is different. Like these, you got a crap ton of Clecos, and then
that's one of our friends, Sarah. She's one of our oldest friends. And
what is that? The H stab? Is that the H stab? Yeah, it looks like it. I think
so. And so we had them come over, pre-COVID, and we kind of carried on the tradition, and people seem to really like it. Where whenever we have like friends or family come and pull rivets on the plane, we let them like sign their name next to the rivets that they pulled. So everybody seems to really get a kick out of it. The next door neighbor's kids absolutely love it. I mean, they're just learning to write, some of them, but they love that they get to see their name on the plane. So.
Yeah, I mean, come on down, Ryan.
No, throw me in, coach. Oh wait, this is out of order. Like here's you guys again this is AirVenture 19.
Yeah.
This was just one of our flying trips. I forget where it was, but that's the thing. We already.
That 182 is a great plane. We love our 182.
We like traveling together. I know there's some people probably who I've heard want to kill each other after doing a trip, but we like doing road trips. We like doing the plane trips. We've kind of got our whole like routine, and we just know how it works, and it's so much more like peaceful. Yeah. So having the flexibility.
Well, you don't get TSA'd when you get on my plane. That's nice.
I didn't actually. That's the opposite of what I heard about you. No,
wait a minute. I missed the conversation there somewhere.
So
apparently you had a conversation. Okay.
So I mean, this is wow. Sorry, I didn't think that joke was gonna land the way it did, and that. Just gonna ride that one out. This is what I was getting at. Sorry, this is what I was getting at. Like Nathan. Okay, so first of all, before I get to my point, Nathan, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and also Jonathan earlier had a super chat, super sticker thing, and you guys are the best. I really appreciate that. And also, as if we sounded the horn. What's the horn from Lord of the Rings? We started talking about experimental aircraft. And Bryon from the Experimental Aircraft channel is here. Did someone mention experimental aircraft? There he is. Voodoo! Clecos! All right, all right, sorry, let's get back to... I'm still thinking about that joke. All right. This is what I was getting at, right? Like, you pull rivets on, like, pop rivets on a RV-12, and now you guys are like banging solid rivets.
That's our friend Ari.
Ari looks like he's either excited or confused about what he's just done.
Maybe he's concerned about the well-being of my aircraft. Who really knows?
But I think
there we go. Look at that.
I guess what I'm getting at is it's just like it's an investment in time, and I think the RV-10 is also separately like, 2 seats versus 4 seats. Like, boom, you're putting that much more time in, potentially compared to some other models you could invest in. So walk me through like the skills, right? Like we're seeing some riveting here. We talked about clicos earlier. Ooh, look at that, shiny. Like,
that's the bottom of the fuselage there.
What was it like to? I mean, how savvy are you guys with this stuff already, or was this new skill building for you?
I knew how to pull a rivet from Oshkosh and how to drill a hole. Seriously,
I did wood shop and metal shop. I absolutely loved it growing up. My dad had me out in the garage all the time. And so I felt comfortable with the different tools and everything, and just that's Ty's cousin and their husband. I felt really comfortable working around all the different tools. Mm-hmm. I think it was actually kind of funny because there was stuff I'd used and Tyler hadn't.
It's a good thing. The very first step of building the plane was cutting something, and I'm very glad she knew how to use a bandsaw. I didn't. So she taught me how to use a bandsaw in the first step.
So that did help, because that was a perfect one. Like the first cut was something like 16 inches.
It was literally the first step.
Yeah, and that a little intimidating, not gonna lie. You really don't want to mess up like on the first step, but something as silly as that. So I went and put a couple relief cuts in, knowing, okay, this is a long cut. If anything happens, I won't have to like try and back out of a 16-inch cut or muck up something. So knowing a little bit about putting some relief cuts in. But I mean, the big thing is that all of it's teachable, and you're not having to get, and this might sound silly because you do have to buy like tools, but you're not having to get anything like really crazy. You're not having to get some like
CNC machine or something.
Yeah, you're not having to get something like super monstrous or weird or whatever.
Everything's like a Home Depot type tool. Like you can get a bandsaw at Home Depot, or at Lowe's or whatever, a drill press,
the bench grinder,
exactly.
So it's
drills. You can get all your drills. Yeah, almost everything. I mean, it's kind of cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
The Aviation aisle is awesome at Home Depot and Lowe's.
But and then the thing is that for the rest of the tools, like Cleveland Tool had some really great YouTube videos on how to use the pneumatic squeezer. And so that's how we learned about how to set it and how to use it. And, watched a couple other people. And I think the big thing too also was then we got the little airfoil kits, like the test kits from Vans, and went through a couple different ones. But you can see definitely
good times.
We still have them. Sometimes we use pieces for scrap, but you could see definitely which one was the first one and like which one was then the second one, and learning. So it's like, even though, okay, yeah, sure, I knew how to use a bandsaw and drill press and whatever, and felt comfortable working with all the tools. It's all learnable. It's nothing. I think it's nothing like, you tell me, because again, I did the shop or whatever, but
it's like nothing profound. It's just, you need some practice, with everything. And I think doing all the practice kits and maybe like the light box or toolbox or whatever you want to build from Vans, doing several of those is a really good idea, because you learn things about like what pressure settings you want for each of your tools. And,
don't set the rivet gun to 90 PSI.
For everything, unless you're going to choke it down. There's all kinds of little tips. And then you get on Vans Air Force, and then like, why do my rivets look so crappy? Or why did this skin get completely dented? And then everybody's like, oh, you're a newbie. Let me tell you how to do this. So then you do a second one and it's much better. And then you kind of feel better about trying to do the actual aircraft.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's like parts of the plane where I'm like, oh man, that was definitely early in the build because it's so much better now. My view of what is bad now is very different than what it was at the beginning.
Is that why that's why they have you start at the tail, because you don't go back there as much?
Yeah, the vertical stabilizer is the first piece, so that's true.
It's funny now too, looking back at what we thought was like hard.
Yeah, it's such a joke. It's such a joke.
And it's like, why did this take so long? We should have knocked that out in a day.
Yep.
Well, I was just thinking I was going to make a joke about another alum of the show, Gil from Build Fly Go. You're saying like about going to the forums, like, is this okay? And without fail, I've been hanging out in the Vans Aircraft like Facebook group, and it's
there's
like
Gil.
every time. So I'll be like, what do I do with this thing I maybe screwed up? And the first post every time is Gil. It's like I don't know, Gil. I don't know if you're watching it. I think he's watching tonight. Gil, if you're watching tonight, like, do you have like some sort of notification algorithm thing going on where it's like you're like, he was responding, I think, while flying to Mexico. Like, he's just got it on. So anyway, by the way, 782 Papa says nothing about home building is anywhere near rocket science.
Yes, just right.
that scares me, but also that I want to tomorrow we're landing. Speaking of rocket science, we're landing a Mars rover on Mars with a space helicopter.
That's
gonna be exciting.
Cool.
There's like a separate thing you should probably check out because hashtag
awesome.
Nerds.
Hashtag space. Anyway, okay, so and I remember on the when we had you guys on the show, that was one of the big advice things. You said, like, don't be afraid to practice.
And there's classes and stuff too. I mean,
don't be scared to make mistakes either. Like, you're gonna make mistakes, so you just need to learn how to fix the mistakes. That's important.
And which mistakes are. What was it? I think Joe, our tech advisor, talked about like recognizing when you're going to make a bigger problem, trying to quote unquote fix something. Like we had every now and then with like a rivet or something at the beginning where he'd be like, okay, if it's not like perfectly set just the way that you want it, it's like, are you more likely to muck up the hole in the skin and everything trying to get to it because it's in a really like awkward spot versus, you know, if you just leave it, especially if it was one that wasn't particularly like in a structural location, kind of figuring out when to identify like a really bad like oopsie versus a, you know, find a way to work with it kind of oopsie.
Yeah, I think having those, she mentioned Joe, our tech counselor or tech advisor. Yeah, either way, Joe is amazing. So he's the president of our local EA chapter, and he's built like 7 planes or something amazing.
And he does one of the, was it like, is it called Young Eagles?
Yeah,
the one at the high school where the high school kids all build
RV-12s.
The RV-12s, and so he's helped them build, I think, at least 2.
Yeah, 2. So
3.
And then I have like a council of sages that I also talk to that are like friends from Facebook that have just finished their airplanes.
Well, we don't have our Canadian Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah,
so
I don't have flight
Steve's
chops.
not sharing.
Yeah.
So, but you know.
Yeah, where's Steve tonight? He's probably wrenching on that RV-14.
That engine.
Yeah, whew, that engine's shiny. All right, so Gary Smith has a question for you guys. He says, what has been the most difficult or stressful in your build so far? And while you talk about that, I'm going to click over to some pictures here just to show people some more about like what your experience is day to day.
Oh man.
I hate the elevator trim tabs. I hate them.
Okay, I don't hate them.
I hate them.
Okay, Tyler hates them. Those you have to. It's a folded piece of skin, and then you have little foam ribs are in there. And we went to fold there's these little. On the end, you fold the sides up. Okay, I'm trying to think how to say this. It's a folded piece of skin that's for the elevator trim tabs there in the back, so it ends up like this. And then you have these little tabs. You fold one on the top down and one on the bottom up. And when you are doing it, you take like the flesh set on the rivet gun, trying to fold it over. And when we did it the first time, it made like this weird little like crinkled crimp mark on it. And we figured out why, I figured out what was doing it, and I was able to figure out how to do it right, and so we ordered the new ones, but Tyler just didn't really like it, so we have to still finish those because he just refuses to work on it.
Let me explain about the elevators. The reason why they're so awful is because you get to it. We got to it. We'd already done our tail cone. So elevators is the very last chapter of the tail kit for us. And it's like 27 pages long. It's brutal. It's a slog to get through it. And you get to the end, and then it's like the worst part of it, and then we messed it up. So I just was like, I'm done with these for a while. But
I figured out the workaround. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. We had to order more pieces. Apparently a lot of people rebuild the tabs. So
that's right. Because when we called Vans to reorder it, I forget which one of the ladies that we were talking to, but what'd she say? Like the record was like 8?
9.
Yeah.
Somebody had bought 9 sets of it to redo it.
And redone them. So she's like, don't feel bad that you did it once. So.
Like I said, don't be scared to make mistakes. They will send you more parts for money.
They don't really. Dude, one time I had a video that I was working on with the FDA for milk, and we revised it 37 times.
Oh,
good gracious!
That's just, I don't know why. It's like this whole film thing.
Did it just say "got milk" with a question mark?
No, but did you know that you're not supposed to give cats milk?
No. That sounds wrong to me.
It's really bad for cats to drink milk.
Okay, that's shocking.
That is weird.
Don't do that. 72 Papa says, by the way, he cheated and made a little rib for that. Whatever that means.
Nice job.
Smart.
Some other folks in the chat are bringing up that you had a delivery problem. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
There's a video about it.
There's a couple videos.
Let's give a brief explanation.
The long story short is
between the jigs and the reels.
Oh, if any of our Newfoundland friends are watching. The shipping company that picked up our fuselage crate, apparently, if I heard the story correct, dropped the crate with something on top of it at the local depot up there, like just down the road from Vans.
It was in Portland, I think.
And instead of taking it back to Vans, they dropped it off to us.
And dropped it off the truck in the process.
Oh, yeah. The delivery driver shoved it off the back of the truck at the end, too. So it was pretty bad. It looked terrible. And of course I happened to be live streaming, go figure, thinking that this was just going to be a totally uneventful thing.
That's how we learned about YouTube privacy complaints.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get into all of it again. It was just crazy, but
so that sounds like the actual most stressful thing.
Yeah, but
Vans,
I mean, yeah,
Vans made it better. Right? I mean, they fixed everything.
We called right away, and
it wasn't even their fault.
No, and I called and talked to Barb. She just retired out there.
Thank you, Barb.
Yeah, Barb was awesome, and she got on it right away. And she's
thanks,
like,
Barb.
you know, we're gonna make it all right. Don't worry. This is not like anything. You know, we did. They took care of all of it. We sent them pictures and. Like an insurance person came out and everything, and they figured it all out. But the delivery guy didn't do so good. And there's videos. Go watch those if you want anything there. But it was, you know, it got a lot of attention just because it was so weird. But I mean, I hope that's not the biggest, most momentous thing folks remember from our build, hopefully. So,
well, I mean, we're talking about talking about things that are stressful. Excuse me. I mean, I get it. By the way, Richard in the chat says he's super proud of you guys. Richard, U.S. Air Force.
Oh, that's Ty's baby brother.
I mean, he's like 30 something.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't mean his baby.
He has
Richard, I'm sorry if that came across wrong. I love you.
My baby brother is 30-something too.
That was Ty's mom there in that last picture. That was her. We had her working on the plane.
Yep.
So, and that's when we finished the vertical stabilizer and the rudder. And back then we thought that was big.
We're we were like, look how big this is.
I mean, there is something to be said about, like, as I watch this as a home building, like, you're building I can't swear on the channel because it needs to stay advertiser friendly. It's like that's like it's a big plane, guys.
Yeah, that's
building like a really big plane.
That's like 1/3 of the plane that you're looking at in that photo right there, probably. I'd say about less than a third, maybe a quarter.
Because even what we have now doesn't have everything with the firewall forward and
so that's the back. That's the aft half of the fuselage that we mated the other day while we were on the Zoom call with you.
That's me with my wonderful mother-in-law. I'm so lucky.
I think if my mother-in-law was ever pointing anything that looked like that at me, I'd be running.
No, Bobby's awesome. I'm very, very blessed. So.
Oh, that was so cute. Look at that.
When we, you talking about with the size and everything, we just finished mating the forward and mid fuselage assemblies together, and suddenly looking at that in the garage and going, now that it's already riveted together this time, it's like, because we don't have the new kits with the final size holes, that was after we got started.
No,
but so
we're no posh RV-14 builder either.
So we had to put everything together, and you do some final drilling, and then you take it all apart and deburr it, and you put it back together again. And so now that it's riveted together officially, looking and going, this is never going to get any smaller than this. And looking at the size.
Yeah, right?
Do knock on wood. Seriously. Don't jinx this. Ryan, why would you say that? But I see. He's already wishing us ill will.
Yeah.
But
welcome to the Squadron.
Sky fam, whatever. Keep your enemies close.
Oh man, but to see that size, that was pretty cool. That was really, really cool to realize that. So, yes, Richard, you can fly a plane with your brother.
I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I think the best part is, we have the days when we get really frustrated. It's not always perfect. We've had some tense moments, but
those never happen. Those never happen.
But you have to try and enjoy the fun bits of it, and so that's been the fun part for us is in case you haven't noticed, we like to ham it up with each other, so it's pretty fun.
If you're not having fun, you shouldn't be doing it. It's not going to get any better. So
those are our first rivets that we put in, and sadly, isn't that the part we're about to have to replace?
Correct. We have to replace that part.
So there was a service bulletin that came out on that part, and so we're going to have to replace the part that has the very first rivets we set on the plane.
Yep, sad.
Sad trombone noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, it's you guys. Speaking of hamming it up.
Yep. There we are going probably to Oshkosh in a 182. Living the dream.
Yeah, that was, I think, the flaps. There's a lot of places, where you gotta figure out how to squeeze your hand in there with the bucking bar, so you can buck the rivets while you rivet them from the other side. So I have quite a few photos with like bruises on my arms,
cuts on forearms.
Exactly. So I have pictures. I think I put on Instagram where I would wrap like a terry cloth rag around my arm with like painter's tape just to help keep because with the skins dimpled, then you have the little dimples in the skin that then start like scraping against your forearm while you're in there. So
you're really selling it to me now.
It comes with battle scars.
No. You're good. You just need to talk to us so we can give you the tricks of the trade.
I love it.
What little we've learned from other people, or ourselves.
That we already stole from other people. Exactly.
Is this fuel tanks?
Pro sealing. This is a joy.
This is one too where we had two different approaches to how we wanted to do it. we had our two different methods.
Yeah, there's the pretty Scott McDaniels method, which Van's actually put a really great video out about how to do fuel tanks. But then I have my method, which is do the Scott McDaniels method, but then add a lot more Pro Seal over all the rivets to ensure that there will be no leaking at all, because I never want to go back in that fuel tank ever again.
I call it the less is more versus the more is more.
I have tons of Pro Seal. It can cover every rivet. So you have to put Pro Seal on everyone.
Pro Seal.
Some people, I've actually seen that on the RV-10 forum before.
What?
I've seen somebody say they're talking about putting Pro Seal on a lot of the riveted surfaces. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I've seen that. So that's not a new thing. Yeah, that's going to be a heavy-ass plane. That's going to be a heavy-ass plane. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are having fun. You're having fun.
Yep. See, look, this is arts and crafts time, Ryan. Go back. That's scissors. You get to cut things just like construction paper in school.
Yeah, but it'll make you bleed.
Well, don't touch it.
Well, if you don't do it right.
Yeah, then you have to go back in and file it a little bit.
Oh, that's not
final.
That's just what it's. You actually. Oh, okay. I'm tracking. Yeah, I got you.
Maybe we should have left it that way. It's kind of like designer that way. It's like different than everybody else's access panel. Ours has the Jaws teeth marks.
I love it.
Yeah.
So a couple comments coming in real quick. So 72 Papa RV builder, who's got a flying RV, says, no blood, you didn't do it right. So that's good.
I love it, Jeff.
Dark Arrow, who missed when I was gushing about them, is saying thanks for the Pro Seal tips.
Oh yeah, I chatted with them. We did a little, some like DMs and went back and forth. They were, I think, testing using Pro Seal for one aspect that they were going to need it on, and had just kind of talked about what our experience was with it. And so just kind of chatted a little bit and showed him. They were trying to figure out, I guess, how firm it was when it was set. And of course, like cold weather, it takes a lot longer to set.
Poor Wisconsin Pro Sealing. I feel you guys right now. That thing will never set right now.
So,
well,
but
technically,
they're great,
I think it's
guys.
colder.
So
Is
nice.
it colder by you right now than by us?
Oh
no, it's at freezing right now. So I'm sure you're colder than freezing.
Oh yeah, it's 18 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. So we're in the high 20s, maybe right at 32, somewhere in there, 28, 32, something like that.
I mean,
and for our Canadian friends, 0 to -1.
I will tell you separately, like, to put all that in context, like, it's all about infrastructure, because like I took my kids for a walk today when it was like 20 degrees out, and the neighbor guy came by and he's like, hey, it's nice and warm, like it's balmy, like we're take your kids out without worrying about them like turning into ice.
Yeah, that's a thing.
John Albers, aka Stay Level Avionics, has a question for you. Is there a paint livery?
Yeah,
depends if you're from England. Did you decide on a paint scheme? I'm going to say it the American way.
We are working with Jonathan over at Plane Schemer and Sam. And I think Sam actually has put together a couple designs. We've landed on the one we want.
Ooh, good aviation pun. I like it.
Hey! There you go. There's another dad joke for you. And no, but I think we're going to play it pretty close to the chest. So I'm really, really excited about it.
It's going to be really epic.
It's not going to be blue and white, y'all.
Can we get like a tiny hint? Like, is it going to be blue? Like, is there like a color?
No.
Is it going to be?
It's good. It'll have
red.
It'll have 3 colors.
Yellow.
And it's not going to be blue and white.
It's not blue and white. I'll tell you the colors. We can tell them one color.
Give them one.
Okay, the primary color is red.
I knew it.
The primary color is red. We want it to be visible, so we don't get hit.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
We just want it to be different. I mean, come on, if you're paying for paint.
Back up again. If you're building a plane for like 2 years, the thing is you want the paint that you want. You know what I mean?
And this is your plane.
It's my plane. Yeah.
And that was kind of the thing that we said, where it's like, and I think even Gil mentioned it because he used Plane Schemer and then Evoke to paint it. It's the same like
combo
people there.
Yeah.
And no, Richard, we're not doing purple and pink. But it's one of these, I think, where Jonathan over there at Plane Schemer had talked to Gil about it, where it's like, if you're paying to get the plane painted, like, why are you just gonna go with kind of, I mean, and I am not knocking anybody who happens to just like pretty standard blue and white and stripes.
That's what
and,
my Cessna is on.
Like, everybody, like,
a million enemies.
Way to
like,
go,
everyone
Christine.
is really mad.
I'm just saying, like, do what he said, like, do what makes you happy. And so that was the thing. And so for us, we talked about, we're like, I don't want a blue and white plane.
We're going to build another plane, so we always have an opportunity to fix our mistake from the first one.
We might use the other design they did for the second one. We'll see. We're already, this is the thing, we're not even done with the first one. We're already talking about, like, what do we want to do for the second one? I don't know, maybe if, like, Dark Arrow. So,
yeah.
This should be fun.
What's the next airplane you're going to build?
It's a good question. The first one. I'm thinking an RV-8 or an RV-14. But I think I want to do the 8. Yeah, I think I want the 8 because the 8's kind of like, it's still a standard build. I'm not sure I want all these finished holes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, finished holes are so dumb.
I mean, who wants to build a plane faster?
Not me. What? I want to. We're almost out of time. I want to go to, because you guys were talking at the very end of this. Yeah, there you go. Who wants to build a plane faster, Ty? Not that guy.
I get it. I mean, they've got like the quick build options or whatever. We just said the thing is we were having so much fun building it that we opted to go for the slow build option, just do it all ourselves, and then save the extra money and use that for other stuff in the plane. So
yeah,
I mean, we could have done it and had the quick build, and
we're applying it to paint.
Well, not just paint
or avionics,
There's a couple votes for hats. You could build a hats biplane next.
Okay, well, see, we might have a whole squadron of aircraft,
a fleet.
A wing.
They are moving to Wisconsin and building a 14. I like it, Gil. I like it.
Gil, is it going to be an A or a non-A 14?
And Gil and we have like a kind of like a agreement that we've made together because it's awesome having fun other builder friends, especially RV-10 builder friends, to tag along with. But we said whichever one of us finishes first is going to go help the other one finish their build.
And I think it's going to be Gil because he works so fast.
It might work out in our favor.
Even with trips to Mexico.
Oh, I hate you.
You went to Mexico. That was a thing. Gil, you said in the chat, by the way, that you were on a work call before. We talked about you a fair amount at the kind of earlier in the.
His ears were burning.
Go back and listen to that. Tango and Juliet, who are like scratch, like hardcore, like Pete and Cole, like they're hardcore. We
stopped keeping track of hours. Really, we were keeping track of days, and even somehow got lost with the number of days. I have blanks that I put in end of day.
But we have video footage of all of it.
Yeah, so everything's got video footage. I just need to go back and do it.
It's thousands of hours. It's probably. I mean, with two people, the real question is if Christine was building it all by herself, how many hours is it? Because that's kind of like the normal person is a one-person build team, right? Unless you're Dark Arrow and you've got 3. That's different. Or in Canada,
yeah, but they're designing theirs from the ground up.
Well, they chose the hard route, So I mean, they could have just built a Vans, So or like Steve has like 9 people building, but it's hard to judge in parallel because, like I did fuel tanks while Christine drilled the wing spar, so it's really hard to.
There's some stuff where we're able to divvy it up, and again, like on the wings, we had a lot with the wings where we were totally working separately. But it made sense because, again, like you're doing the left and then the right. And so when I was doing everything on the spars, I mean, a lot of it was on like the spars, it's drill. And it's like, okay, drill on the other side. Now go on the right and do the same thing. And so it was
countersink this.
Yeah.
Countersink
And so
that,
it's a lot of repetition of doing the same test, but not really something necessarily until you get to the riveting where we needed, both of us. And so that's where it was helpful then, where Tyler could go and do the fuel tanks or get the leading edges or whatever and being able to divvy it up. And then there's other parts where I think especially now more with the fuselage where we've needed both of us for quite a bit of it, or it's been helpful where I can work on something on the right side of the fuselage while Tyler's working on something on the left side of the fuselage, and having us work on it together that way. The
fuselage is a lot harder to do in parallel, though. It's a lot harder. So
it's not really
the wings same. Was easy because it was like everything was.
They're all separate components that
right.
you
like
attached everything to the spars
the tail kit was the same way.
At the end.
That's
and
right.
So that's why I think it worked out. And same thing exactly, with the M kit. Yeah. Whereas the fuselage kit, it's not really the same. You're not kind of putting everything together there at the end. So, and having like individual components, this is all like the one big thing, but and part of it too also is like some of the different aftermarket stuff we've done has added extra time trying to figure it out.
I would venture a guess and say we're probably close to, I don't know, 1,400 or 1,500 hours, 1,400 hours, something like that. Because the wings actually went pretty fast. We finished the wings and we did slow build wings and finished them in like 2.5 or 3 months. We did those pretty fast. We started
to go back and check it.
It started in February. We were mostly done with them in June.
It seemed long.
Yeah, with it was all the pro sealing that made it take a lot longer. But I mean,
and there's a fuselage there.
But the fuselage this is
what I was talking about when we were talking about like the plane is really big.
Yeah.
And again, you're missing the whole tail cone.
The tail cone goes on the back of that.
So everything firewall forward with the engine.
Yeah, I know.
We'll do the mating. We'll do the mating and went on another Zoom call with them. The back meeting.
There's a lot of mating happening.
Yeah.
So just a few more questions before we wrap, because we have to play a game in a minute. But a few more questions that are coming in. I mean, I think. Well, your baby brother wants to know if there was an easier aircraft to build that was the same quality. Would you consider that over another Vans build in the future?
An easier aircraft to build with the same quality.
I mean, I guess it depends on a definition of easier and kind of the performance of the aircraft. Like, what would the mission of that plane be?
Yeah, there's a lot, I think, to...
Like, I'd like to have a STOL aircraft, too. That'd be sweet, but I don't think it's easier. I mean, look at what Mike Patey is doing. It's crazy, right?
Lord.
So,
it's so
even just building a carbon cub is not... It's not simple. It's still just... It requires work.
I mean, I guess, like... You could say easy, maybe with, again, having like the final size holes, having pop rivets, something like that. But I mean, again, it's not, I think there's a lot more to it than just saying like easy. I think a lot of it, again, is about like, what do you want in the plane?
Yeah.
And that was, it's not just building a plane for the sake of building a plane, I guess is the way to put it. You know, it's about the mission and, you know, what did we want?
And the other thing is that it would be hard for me to want to give up the Vans community, because that community of builders is really unbelievable. Just in general, we've gotten a lot from other people, and that's why we're trying to help as many people as we can. So I get text messages and chats on Facebook Messenger and everything all the time. And I try to help people out as much as I can, but that's kind of the Vans way. So,
well, I think even about like Gil, when he was talking about flying back from, you know, Mexico, and he got stuck with this weather and had to leave his plane, and, you know, finding another RV person to help him out. And I think of just all the people we've met either in the area or online, and have gotten to connect with, who it's been so nice. And I'm trying to think how to say this. There might be others planes that might be, quote, like easier. I don't want to like get into details, but I still think that the plane we're building is a better plane. And I think that the performance is better. I think the comfort is better. I think the whole community around it's better. And I like feeling very confident and comfortable that when this is all said and done, I will feel comfortable working on our plane afterwards, and B, that I feel like there's a really great community out there where if I run into some sort of a problem or question, there's ample people that I will be able to help reach out to
and get an opinion,
get some input, get something figured out. I won't be doing this alone. And even for us personally, like our EAA chapter here, there happened to be a lot of RV-10s.
There's like 5 RV-10s at the airport closest to us,
that are currently flying. And
and more 2 being built.
Building. 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So,
well, I mean, it's definitely a prolific brand, right? Like I remember the first EAA meeting I ever went to like 10 years ago, and I was like, it's weird. They started like what I imagine an AA meeting is like, where everyone's like, you see, it's like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'm an alcoholic. Well, this was like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a student pilot. And then they
hi, Ryan.
It was like, and literally the president of the chapter, this is chapter 18 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's got an RV-8, and he said, welcome, Ryan. What kind of RV are you going to build? And I was like, I'm just trying to work out like thrust and weight and lift and drag, like just like trying to figure that stuff out. So I mean,
comes to the dark side.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, there's safety in numbers, right?
Yeah.
I think too, part of it is it's like, even though we had really decided when we were even though we really started strongly considering building the plane back when we were at Oshkosh in 2018, we still didn't actually pull the trigger for a while.
Like 6 months.
And then we didn't get the kit until like May the following year?
May, yeah.
So that's the thing, keep in mind. So July 2018, and we didn't actually then get the kit until like the end of May, and didn't start building until June because we were finishing the little practice kits we had with our tools.
And I begged you for the tail kit.
Yeah.
I begged you. I said, it's only $4,000. We need to do this. I need to build an airplane.
What is it called? Analysis paralysis a little bit there, where I was like, no, we need to do more research and like figure this out. And so I think that maybe is part of it, jokingly, where it's like, I've been there. I know what it's like to feel like kind of that, oh my gosh, are we making this terrible mistake? And is this something that's way bigger than I possibly could imagine? And it's going to be such a bear and a beast. And I mean, we're not done yet. I know that. But at the same time, even knowing there's stuff that's coming up that we haven't done before, everything with the engine, everything with all the electrical, I don't feel that same fear's too strong a word, but anxiety maybe about it. Just because, again, I know we've figured all the rest of this out. There's instructions to follow. There's people to help us. We're really blessed that one of our good build buddies out here, Todd, I don't know if you're watching. Yay, Todd. He's an electrical engineer, and he lives down the road, and he's building a 10, and he's a couple sections ahead of us. So, having these other friends and connections that you make throughout this whole thing.
Even Jason Ellis. It's the same thing. We met him through when you guys did that builder forum.
Yeah.
And he was like instrumental in making me feel more comfortable about building a plane to begin with.
And I think that's just part of it, though, with, like teasing about everybody kind of like egging you on is, it might come across as being like heavy, but I don't think it's meant that way. I think it's more of like, hey, we've all been there. We know like that like anxiety that you might be feeling, that hesitation about whatever. And I think a lot of it comes from a place of, it's not that terrible. It's okay. You can do this. It'll be fine. Yeah. You're not going to end up stranded and alone and not knowing what to do, and not having a clue what you're, it's like, this is okay. It's okay. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the comes from with the, the folks like us, where it's like, hey, sure, build a plane. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, Zach's next. Yeah.
You're a little more aggressive than that.
No.
So before we play short final, which you knew was coming, a couple people have Tango and Juliet say, you're such badasses. You're so inspiring. So I just wanted to make sure I put it up on the screen before, but I don't know if you saw it. Jonathan, who you guys I think know, says that watching your videos gave him the confidence to order his RV-10 kit.
Oh,
so
yay!
That's making like a real. Why are these? We sent there. That looks. Here, let me put it back up. Let's get that centered. What? Who? Doesn't that bother anyone else that they were on the side? All right.
Oh, that's the OCD right there.
Yeah. Whew. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure you guys saw those positive.
Thanks,
positive
that was very
notes.
nice.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Christine works really hard on that, so I'm real proud of the work she's done.
Thank you. I finally getting back to everything after Dad and losing him, but I was working on another video. So again, we were originally going to be next week. And so I had just started getting back to it. I'd been working on my first build video, so I'd hoped to have one out before doing this, but sorry, guys.
We needed more hard drive. We needed to buy 8 more terabytes.
Build videos take up, all the GoPro videos take up a lot of space. But I'm hopefully next week. That was the plan, was to have it for next week. So
well, you guys did me a huge solid by and Jen doing a swapping in and so yeah.
No worries.
Oh, yeah,
it happens totally.
Yeah.
So, only once in a lifetime snowstorms in Texas just happened.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah, once in
35
years.
we play a game real quick before we wrap it up for the night?
Yay!
So, if you're new to the show, Short Final is a little game we play, kind of a rapid fire thing that we play at the end of every episode, and there are no points except all the points. They're gonna kill it. And I'm gonna hit some dramatic music here. Make sure it's not too loud or too soft, as you all complain. Let's see. Okay, I can hear it, so hopefully you can hear it. All right, Christine, Ty, if you weren't building an RV-10, what would you be building?
An RV-14.
Sure.
Okay. All right. What about you've traveled a ton in your aircraft, your flying club. What's your favorite airport you've ever landed at?
Oh.
Bangkok was pretty cool.
But we didn't fly there with our
plane.
No,
we didn't fly there. Oh, New Orleans. The one on the lake there.
Yeah, Lakefront Airport's pretty cool in New Orleans.
It's really pretty.
Flying to Charleston's a lot of fun. Flying over the bridge and everything in Charleston's great. But
the guys.
But PDK is my favorite airport. It's my home airport in Atlanta. So I think flying from Texas back to PDK is one of my favorites.
And at Lake Branson.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Track up, north up?
No, definitely track up.
Yeah.
Track up, okay. And what about, priming or no priming?
Priming only where they touch.
Yeah. Well, and some more in the fuselage we're priming.
Or in any part that has to be primed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like steel. Not stainless, but
I don't know. Isn't that a big thing in the RV community? That's like,
it is.
I'm not
Yes.
We asked like millions of people about that. Yeah.
At least because you built the 10, you avoided the slider versus the tip.
The sliding top. We have doors. We have 2 doors that we're gonna have to fit.
I think slider is cool though. I have to really.
Oh no,
about
totally.
That. Yeah, I think.
But we're gonna have doors that we have to fit. That apparently.
Dude. If you're gonna, here's the thing for me. Like RV-8, for example. If I was gonna build an RV-8, it would be a sliding one because I want to feel like Maverick. Right? I want to have it like slide back. I want to have my arm hanging out. I'm gonna put the flight suit on even though I didn't earn it.
Air blowing in the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Top Gun music.
It's about the
Top Gun music playing. Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you.
On repeat. On speakers that are
yes, on speakers with it back so that everybody.
It's experimental. You can do that, so that sounds good.
Oh, here comes that D-bag Ryan. It's gonna take off. Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much,
guys. You got the vision.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm focused. Thanks so much for being on the show tonight, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
I'm glad it worked out.
I'm just amazed that your power and electricity stayed on the entire time.
You were trying to jinx us, knock on wood.
Well, it would be really fitting if it just like at the end you just went.
Yeah, it'll be like Sopranos, straight to black. Straight to black.
Oh, that's dramatic. All right. So everyone, Christine and Ty, well, they're members of the SuperAero Squadron. They hang out, but they're going to be on in the after show on the Zoom link. If you are a Patreon supporter, you can go get that link, hang out, ask them your questions via voice. It'll be a good time. For everyone else, so guys, thank you so much. I'm going to awkwardly go back to just the one camera. It's just me now. Thank you, everyone, for watching tonight. It's awesome to spend time with all of you every Wednesday. It's like one of the highlights of my week. Make sure you subscribe, share. So many people don't know about all the fun we have every Wednesday night, so make sure you share it, like all that jazz. Just big thing is thanks. Thanks for hanging out. Next week, unless there's another crazy snowstorm, Jen Pierce, who's an air traffic controller, is going to be on to answer all your questions. Really appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.